welcome to my channel. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and do that now. Now, this is the third video of this unit called rational expressions, okay? So if you have not watched the first two videos, go ahead and watch them. This is negative exponents practice. So there's a previous video to this where I go over what are negative exponents and then how you can work with negative exponents and turn them into positive exponents. Pretty straightforward. Now, this is some practice. At this time, you should know how to simplify these expressions. And what I want you to do is pause the video right now. Okay, that's the first thing. I want you to pause the video and click play once you're done so that you can check your answers. All right, hopefully you have paused your you have worked through these problems already. I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna start with problem number 1. Oops, let me rewrite that. That's a very weird one. Okay, so number 1, we have the first thing that we have to do is distribute. Let me just rewrite it. The first thing that we have to do is distribute these 2 to every exponent. Now remember that this 3 is raised to the power of 1 and this y is also raised to the power of 1. So you have got to distribute. We multiply when we distribute. So you got to distribute that 2 to the other exponent. So you have 3 to the power of 2, x to the power of -4, and y to the power of 2. Now 3 to the power of 2 is 9, because that's 3 times 3. Now, what do we do with that x to the power of -4? Well, we have to move that to the denominator in order to end with a positive exponent, in order to make that -4 a positive 4. So we move it to the denominator. And well, this y to the power of 2 doesn't move because the exponent is positive already. This y to the power of 2 doesn't have to move. All right, on number 2. Again, if you only worked to number 1 and you were waiting to see this first one, you can still pause the video, work through the other problems, even if you get them incorrect. It's fine. It's better that you make a mistake now and then you correct that mistake, and that way you don't make that mistake later on. Okay, so in this particular one, this is something that I like to do. Okay, let me just rewrite it. What I like to do here is I like to separate each of the like terms. I like to box them together. First of all, let's notice that we are dividing, okay? That line here means division. So I'm dividing 3 divided by 9, x to the power of -4 divided by x, and y to the power of -3 divided by y to the power of 3. So I'm just going to box them so I don't get confused. You don't have to do this. This is just practice that I do, and I also do it so that some of you may understand this better. So let's go one at a time. 3 divided by 9. Well, 3 divided by 9 is, you can simplify it to 1/3. And then x to the power of -4 divided by x, well, that is just x to the power of -4 minus 1, because this x is being raised to the power of 1. And remember that when we divide exponents, what we do is we subtract them. And then we have y to the power of -3 in a very similar way, minus 3. Okay, now let's simplify this even more. We have 1/3. And then this is x to the power of -4 minus 1 is -5. And y to the power of -3 minus 3, well, that's just y to the power of -6. Remember that we need positive exponents, okay? So how do we turn these negative exponents into positive exponents? Well, we just have to move them to the denominator. And y to the power of 6. There you go. Let me just write this one more in the middle. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now let's go over problem 3. Let's go over problem 3. By the way, if you have any questions on how to solve these problems, make sure that that you, how do you say it? Make sure that you write down a comment on the bottom. Okay, let me do number 3. Let me just rewrite it. This is negative 2 x to the power of negative 1. Then negative 3 x to the power of negative 2, then square. Now there's this one is a little bit tricky, and I'm gonna show you why. So let's start with the first one. What can we do to the first one? Well, the only thing that we can do here is actually move this x to the denominator. I can do that now, but I'm going to choose to do it later, and you're going to see why I'm just leaving it negative for now. Okay, now this 2, remember we are going to distribute that to the exponents. Okay, so we have negative 3 to the power of 2 and x to the power of negative, sorry, it's not negative 2, it's negative 4. Okay, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. There you go. Okay, let me just move this here a little bit more. All right, so what do we have now? Well, we have negative 2 times x to the power of negative 1. And this is multiplying negative 3 to the power of 2. Now, this is where it gets a little bit confusing. Because it's negative 3 is not inside a parenthesis, we don't have something like this. Okay, this will be positive 9, but because we have it like this, the way that it's interpreted is as negative 1 times 3 times 3. Okay, and that is negative 9. Okay, that's why I was saying that it's a little bit confusing. So this is actually negative 9 and x to the power of negative 4. Well, let's get to the fun stuff now. Now this is negative 2 times negative 9. This parenthesis implying multiplication. Well, that is 18. And when we multiply exponents with the same base, well, what we do is we add them. So we have negative 1 plus negative 4. And what is that equal to? Well, that's equal to 18 times x to the power of negative 5. And well, what is that equal to? 18 divided by x to the power of 5. Remember that whenever you have a negative exponent, you can make that negative exponent by moving it to the opposite side. And by that I mean, if it's on the numerator, you move it to the denominator. If it's on the denominator, you move it to the numerator. All right, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, if you can subscribe to this channel, I will highly appreciate it. The way that you help me is by doing that. And that helps me help you understand math better. Bye.